Hey, what's going on, guys? It's finally time. Since you guys loved the first one so much, I figured I'd make another. You're gonna join our video today. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, so let's just hop right into this one. God, it's cold and windy outside. I have a feeling the wind is gonna cause problems for the mic. Let's start with the first thing that I love about this car, and I think most 350Z owners can agree. It's gotta be the exhaust note. It's either the exhaust note or the styling of the car. You cannot argue. Those are the two best things about this car, and I freaking love it. It's got a perfect, nice, rich tone, especially when you're revving it out. It's just... oh, it sounds so good. And then down low, as you're kind of around 2,000 to 4,000 RPM, you're just... in it a little bit, it has kind of a grumble, a chug. It's just, ooh. I'm sorry, I love the way this car sounds. That is absolutely my favorite thing about this car. Now, moving on to another thing that I love. It's kind of tacky, but I love the Z logos, and I plan on making another one here. I'm going to be plasti dipping or spray painting right here or something to kind of make it interpretive, so you can see like two little arrows or the Z, whatever you want to see there. That's cool. There's a little secret Z logo down here. There's a Z logo on the kick plate, whatever you want to call that. One back on the rear strut. Just little secrets here and there. Next thing that I think a lot of car enthusiasts can agree on is the transmission. This is a powerhouse of a transmission. Now, this is the JK41B, which came in the 08Zs. I believe the 07 had them as well because of the HR motor, different motor, all that kind of, all those goodies. Now, hopping on over to something I don't like. I don't like the whine that comes from the transmission. Now, the normal whine, whenever you're just kind of going from first, second, and third, you can hear the gears. That's cool. I like that. But the one I'm talking about is down. That either has to do with the throwout bearing or the pilot bushing bearing, whatever you want to call it. It's quite loud in these cars. I just think it's because they cheaped out on some parts. But I do have an Exhilarating Pro clutch kit in this car. So I did replace the pilot bearing and all that stuff, but it still kind of whines and does its thing, which is normal supposedly in these cars. So it doesn't bother me too much. If it was a problem, I'd be very uncomfortable. I wouldn't like to drive it, but I've been told it's normal. Also, I've been told that the clutch and flywheel can be noisy whenever you switch to a different flywheel. I hear that, especially when it's cold. I take it slow because it kind of sounds like almost like not a grinding, but it's really strange. Maybe I'll pick it up in a video and I'll place it here for you guys so you can hear that, see what it sounds like. Back to a thing that I love about this car is the freaking gauge cluster. It looks so good. Everything lights up, especially at night when it's glowing and you can just see it. I know in a lot of Z videos you can see, especially when driving, the tech kind of bounces when you shift. I don't know why that's so cool, but it just makes it seem like you're just going fast. I don't know why that is so exciting, but I love it. Not great, I guess, because you want to see where your revs are and everything, but you're just going at it. Why would you care? You're just ripping, you're having fun. But something that really intrigues me and I think is cool. Another thing that I think is cool, definitely the little gauges up here, the oil gauge. Now, you know, this one's really not all that relevant. I mean, it tells if your battery is good or not, and this kind of gives you display information like you would in most typical cars of this age. But the oil gauge, that's kind of cool. I've heard these aren't very accurate, but this one seems to work pretty good. If anything, I can just go get another one and I'll replace it in there and get all the pods. And the next thing I love about this car is got to be the design. Like, you cannot tell me this thing doesn't look good. I know I've heard from some people that it kind of looks like a jelly bean and it's got a lot of round features, but it looks sharp for even with how it's shaped and everything. But the best thing is just the roof line. This teardrop shape is just perfect. Definitely a great design by Nissan for the time and even for now. I've seen the new 400Z that's supposed to come out and it looks freaking fantastic. One thing that I didn't like about the 370Z, it was a little bigger, and this flattened kind of plane here was more rounded on the 370. It kind of made it look like it had a hunchback, and it just looked a little funky to me. I love the freaking taillights on these cars. They just look so freaking good. a long tail light, but it works. It just works. The little factory wing is cool. All the little accents, you know, these weren't from factory, but definitely a thing that I love is all the black accents, which I did these, and whenever I got it, it had taillights tinted, and the roof and wing and rims were painted, so were the mirrors and stuff, but I did my little touch-ups and had fun with that. So I believe you will see that video before this one. Now this next thing is kind of a love-hate. I love the engine, I love the design, just the thing that I don't like about it is the intake and then this beauty cover over it. It just covers the whole thing, and then you've seen with most 350Zs, they have kind of a weird squarish intake on the top. I like seeing intake runners and a little design there, which you could see in my Mercury Cougar, which looked freaking awesome, but it just doesn't have the power and all that. Something that I think is definitely kind of cool is these little cubbies for like your battery and then your brake and clutch fluid and all that. There's not too much of a use for them. It does kind of cover them up, but it's not like they're gonna be changing much of anything. Ignore my limping. I got excited. It's a new day. I'm doing recording again. I hurt my ankle jumping down from the stairs. Ooh. Moving on to the next thing that I don't exactly like about this car is the trunk space. Also the trunk latch and the struts. Oh dear God. Up. Come on. You don't get it fast enough. It locks on you. Okay. Yep. Yeah. As you can see, the struts have gone out. They were fine when I first got the car. It seems like the left one's still working, but somehow the right one just started leaking out of nowhere. Yeah, so trunk space. There's a little bit of it. I'd say it's good enough for groceries, and if you're taking a trip by yourself or with someone else, I think there's actually enough space back here for that. But for anything else, don't be expecting to move houses or anything. I mean, it's a two-seater sports car, so it's not really meant for that anyway. Really, you can't carry anything too large in this at all. That's the only problem. Anything that is malleable, kind of like, you know, clothes in a bag or something, it'll fit just fine. But anything that comes up above this or is too wide to fit in here, good luck getting it to fit in the car, because it's not going to be able to go anywhere except for like the passenger seat. And if you have somebody sitting there, well, you're out of luck. The one good thing I will say about it is it does have this little cubby back here. Not much room for anything. You can kind of put maybe a few groceries back there or something. Don't mind my little speaker covers. Got the manual back there. It's decent enough. You could probably put something back there. It'd be nice. You have these two little storage cubbies up here too for just random junk that you want to keep. One thing I do find strange is there's not a glove box, which I don't see why not. There's plenty of room for it right here. You got plenty of leg room. You got your little cigarette lighter, 12 volt, whatever thingy-mabob you want to call it. Back to something I love, and I'm in it right now. No, I'm not talking about the car. It's these seats. These seats are amazingly comfortable. I don't know what it is about them, but they hug you really nice, and they're just, you'd think since they're stiff and they're sports seats that they would be hard, but they're not. They're great. They like conform to your body, and you just kind of rest in it and you feel secure. The one thing that did surprise me when I first got this car is the headrests. I didn't think they moved up. They do. I didn't find that out too much later, but if you lean back against it, I wonder if I can get it on video. Oh no, you're not gonna see that. But there's like a little, maybe, I don't know, there's like a plastic piece down in the back that when you lean back on the headrest, it pushes out in here towards the square of your back, and it kind of keeps your posture up. So you know, you're sitting well, and it actually has helped with my posture because I like to slouch a lot. So when I sit in these seats, it kind of keeps me up. You can see when I push back, it pushes my chest out. So yeah, another one of the things that I like are these seats. They're incredibly comfortable. I love the clutch pedal. It actually feels really soft to my left leg just because I've become so accustomed to it. I drive this car every day. But when you first get in, this pedal is stiff. It's stiff. Not super stiff like, you know, some high-end hypercar or a drag car or anything like that. But for people that don't like a stiff clutch pedal, you're not gonna like the Z. I mean, if you drive it a bunch, you'll get used to it and then you won't even think it's stiff. But for most people, that can be something that'll make them turn away. Visibility. Visibility is great in this car. 1 for a sports car and 2 for how low it is to the ground. This windshield shows you a lot out the front. You can see out the sides. Ooh, look at that sky. Sides are great. The only problem with visibility is behind you. Really hard to see. Can't really look out that one from here where I'm sitting. Cannot look out this one at all from where I'm sitting. I don't know how this passed. And then the rear view mirror. The only way to get a good angle to see behind you, see, you can see behind me fine right now, but when you're driving down the road, you have to kind of come up to look behind you. Otherwise, you're looking at the ground. And I don't know why that is. And I've adjusted this mirror several times. It always seems to look down and you can't see behind you at all. So you have to kind of like come down and get this little sliver to look up behind you, because for most of the drive, this is what you see. And I don't mean you see the trunk and all that space, but I'm saying like that's what you see out the back. So you have to like come down to look. And if you try to adjust the mirror up, you're not gonna see anything because it's looking at the roof of your car. And if you adjust it down, you're just looking at that. So, if this was mounted lower, like right down here, it'd be perfect. You'd be able to see straight out the back, but that's a problem. As you can see, I actually got this done. I really like it. Photos do not do it justice. Video does not do it justice. It looks much better in person. I have been told that as well. The interior. I've heard from people that it has great build quality. I'm here to tell you it does not. Everything rattles and shakes. Although it does have aftermarket speakers, so that can contribute to it. But when you're driving down the road, not much makes noise. The window sure as hell does. Like I'm driving down the road, I'll press the button to make the window go down and then pull it back up so that it stops rattling. I don't know why it does it, but it does, and it's annoying, and it's right here. I can hear it. Steering wheel, great. I love the freaking steering wheel. It feels awesome. Now, when you first start driving the car, it's chunky. Like you feel this and it's in the way, but once you get used to it, you actually enjoy having your fingers flat on the back of the steering wheel because it makes it easier for your hand to just, if you know what I'm saying. Gauge cluster, great. Dash, great. But the waterfall and the center console, loose and squeaks and carries on and breaks really easy. When I got it, it was broken back here. And it's expensive as hell to get a waterfall. It's $200. Are you kidding me? $200 for a cheap piece of plastic to cover your dash. Ah! Oh yeah, listen to this. Yeah. Also, cheap paint on this. Scratches away. It actually scratched away here as well. Both of them are scratched. I planned on spray painting them. It should be easy. The problem is, why didn't they just make it? You pull the door handle back and you pop it out and it comes right off. Why? Why didn't you make it like that? That would have been so much easier. But no, you have to take off the whole door panel, get back there, undo some screws and whatnot. And there's 3 screws on this thing. 3 to keep it where it is. Why? It does not need that. Oh, by the way, Glade, these things are freaking amazing. Thank you for making them. No, I'm not sponsored. We are back outside to talk about the headlights. These look freaking amazing. However, they are aftermarket. I love them a lot. And they're actually not even really all that expensive. I'll put a link up if they're still for sale, but I've heard that they may be going out soon. So I would hurry up and buy them while you can. The stock headlights on the Z, they're really outdated. They do not look all that great, and they're all chromy and sparkly. And look at me. A lot of car manufacturers do that because that's what the average person likes, I guess. It's like, ooh, chrome. Ugh. But these headlights, oh yes. Especially at night too, when you turn on your high beams, it's kind of dingy, but you can see really far. Like these headlights, it goes. Do I need to say it? Do I need to say it? There's a lot of controversy about this hood. I don't know why, because I love it. I love this hood. I think it looks great. The reason being is it kind of makes it look like you're really packing something under there, if you get what I'm saying. It's got the hood bulge. It makes you think. A lot of muscle cars kind of do that when their engine is too big to fit the engine. That's kind of the design there. But for whatever reason, a lot of people like the old hood with just the little scratch marks down it. It just doesn't look right to me. Even though that's the original design, it just doesn't fit what I like, I guess. God, it looks so pretty. Next thing that I love and hate at the same time. It's so easy to drift, but it makes it so hard to corner. Because if you don't come in hot and you don't come in surefire, you're gonna corner, it's gonna spin on you, which is strange. It really likes to oversteer. Force the front tires to understeer upon entry. On exit, you're gonna oversteer, and you kind of have to really control the throttle. If you get on it any at all, it immediately starts to spin. Like I said, can be fun for drifting, but for track use, it is not helpful. Not helpful. Also, when you get low on gas, it likes to slide more. I may have just found my problem. The tread on the inside of the left tire is completely gone, while the other tire is fine. I wonder how that happened. I think we need an alignment. Okay, last little bit to finish this video up. The hatch. The hatch is really freaking heavy, hence the struts going out. Another thing I like are the rims. The rims look freaking fantastic. I love the way they look. Just fitment is a little whack with these stock rims, so I'm going to be getting some that are kind of similar, kind of not. Some Kansei K&Ps, if you know what I'm talking about. Awesome. I love the style. They're going to look great. I'm going to get that fitment. Minty. A little quirk when I bought this car. Cooper Xeon RS3 G1s. I have those on my Cougar. I was super excited about that. Next thing, suspension. Feels freaking fantastic in the rear. It's kind of soft in the front. You go to corner and you can kind of feel the body roll, which upgraded sway bars will help with that. But the suspension in the front, it's a little soft. I would say bump that up, but I am looking forward to getting some Fortunato 510s, so be prepared for that. And last thing, brakes. It is the base Model Z, so the brakes really aren't all that great, and you can tell. The brake rotors are kind of small, not much friction surface to stop yourself. They do work pretty well. The initial brake bite is pretty nice, but once you get kind of into the travel, you really have to mash on it for it to slow down. Got on it once before, it makes the front kind of dive and you get a little washy, so they will stop you, but yeah, I'm definitely looking at some brake upgrades. So with all that being said, if there's anything that I missed, anything that you think you don't like, you would like, go ahead and put that in the comments below. Whatever you feel, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you left a comment. Hey, this video was great. These are some things you could have added. These are some things that you missed. Whatever. I take great to criticism, so whatever you want to put, go ahead, throw it down. I'd appreciate it if you shared this with friends. I don't give a shit if you like whatever. Just share it with your friends. I'm trying to grow. I'm excited. I would like to do car reviews for you guys. So hopefully that can be something that comes to fruition. With all that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with this.